Boy, I sure did hate Rogue One.
It's Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
Yeah, I saw Rogue One on Thursday night, and I liked it until near the end, at which point I realized I was watching way too depressing of a movie. Oh, look, Overwatch visuals. That's trendy and popular and lazy. Let's not use that. I'm not gonna pander to you lazy people who want something pretty to stare at. Just change to another tab if you need to, but we're using minimalistic visuals. So right off the bat, let's be clear. This isn't a badly made film, it's just depressing. But fundamentally, it's pretty sound. These characters in the movie are really good, and I pretty much liked them all. It's well shot, has breathtaking locales, and really gets you into the world. On a fundamental level, there's also some flaws. The stormtroopers are perhaps more pathetic than ever, easily more weak and incompetent than in any other film, and arguably even more so than in Rebels. But that aside, it manages to stay engaging throughout, even if it is at times very hard to follow, especially for those not thoroughly versed in Star Wars lore. Prepare to be confused and have to look up some stuff or ask a knowledgeable acquaintance. The character that everyone's sure to love the most is a straight shooter droid taken from the Empire and reprogrammed. They also have a blind Force adept who will still beat the tar out of you because he sees through the Force, a heavy like in Team Fortress 2 but Asian, a couple of dudes with really cool accents, and the main character Jin, also pretty cool, but whose backstory we really don't hear in full, so that can be a little confusing. What I'm going to say next is something you might be able to figure out with prior knowledge, but if you want to go into the movie blind, you may want to back out in a moment here. But if you want to hear something important about the movie that may well influence your decision on whether or not you want to watch the movie, you may want to actually hear this spoiler. Alright, are you ready? No turning back now. Everybody dies. All the characters I just mentioned, and many more, all frickin' die. I'm not gonna say exactly why or how, but these characters that you can so easily get attached to, every one of them dies. The movie is named after the squad, Rogue One, that gets completely wiped out over the course of the movie. Now, I really wanted to see some of these characters again, but after it became clear everybody was going down, which is very late in the movie, suddenly all the happy feelings of watching an awesome movie started to melt away from me. Cause oh boy, I'm taking a one-way train into Depression Town here, aren't I? So that's why I don't personally enjoy this movie overall, because to me, a movie is all about the feeling that it leaves you with at the end. I've seen movies where a lot of characters have died. I've seen ones where the main character died. Some of these movies are in my top 10. The deaths feel meaningful and manly. Nobody dies some lackluster, pointless, in-vain death. By contrast, in Rogue One, some of the characters definitely do take a lot of guys with them, go out like champs, but not everyone does, and that just kind of makes it a lot worse. Technically, nobody died in vain because it was a whole team effort to accomplish a mission that saves countless other lives, but it still left me with a hollow and empty and sad feeling, and I wanted to scream out in the theater from the depression that it left me with. Fundamentally a good film, but if you're like me and you can't take something so soul-crushing, you might want to think twice before you check this one out. Oh, and the 3D is decent enough, so I do recommend that. It's not quite as good as it was in Phantom Menace or Force Awakens, but it's still pretty good. And now, welcome to the King Critic Real Fan Corner. You've probably noticed that my schedule is massively slowed down in terms of releases. Here's what that's all about. You probably heard by now that YouTube broke itself again, and now everyone loses subscribers every time they upload. It's stupid, it's broken, it doesn't allow small channels like mine to grow, so what I've decided to do is basically just make sure that anything I upload is really high quality, doesn't fall flat like most of them seem to. So you're gonna still see the releases from time to time, but I'm being really careful about it. If YouTube fixes the problem, or if the percentage of loss per upload goes way down from its current level, which is something like 3%, then I'll go back and try and release a video once a week or so. But for now, what I'm mostly doing is streaming, which is more fun, easier, more profitable, gives me footage I can sometimes use on King Critic GX, gains me subs instead of losing me subs. I recommend you watch those. If you don't mind, turn on those notifications, and then you can come check them out when they happen, which is becoming more frequent lately. Really helps. I mean, you can even just leave it on. If you can't be actively watching the whole time, you can just leave it on. If you need to save bandwidth, you can turn the quality down. Make sure you don't have ad block on, if you please. And you can also go subscribe to King Critic Zero E and King Critic GX, where there should be more frequent uploads. And I'd recommend hitting the bell on those as well. If you're watching this shortly after its release, I am probably live streaming right now, so you should come join me. Thanks to all my dedicated fans. I'd have definitely quit now if not for you guys. See you in the stream, I hope, or another stream. Also, go back and watch my older videos, even if you just put them on mute in a tab and then change to a different tab, because that'll probably keep you subscribed to me, I imagine. Screw YouTube, am I right? Alright, peace out.